That's what I would do if I want to pitch to a brand or a company. I want to pitch my services as a content writer to a brand or a company, or an individual, to land a remote job or a freelance content writing gig. So you must have heard me, the people have done different videos on how to use ChatGPT to look for companies that are hiring, but the actual question is, how do you actually pitch yourself to this company so that you increase your chances of landing the job? So one of the strategy I usually recommend that I use that works is actually doing something upfront, like actually doing the work upfront. So here is how I'm going to approach an article that I'm going to use to pitch to a brand or a client. Go ahead, instead of applying regularly, I'm going to go find out their email and all of that, because I prefer to do warm emailing, warm outreach rather than cold outreach. So if they're already positioned to apply for a job, I'll go through the email instead of going through the job application process, or I just do both. So this is here I'll go about the kind of article I want to use to pitch to, and this works like 90% of the times that I've tried it. It actually works. So yeah, so let's go ahead. So the first thing I'm going to do is to define my client's goal. Like, what does this brand want? So it's not enough that they've already put out the application that they're looking for a content writer and all of that. So I'm going to go to their website and try to understand what they want, and also read the job application. If they have a job application, they just say they want a content writer and they didn't even give a full detail, then you can go to the website to find out more. But if it's already a job you've applied for, then you can just go this route and understand what their goal is, and you find that out from their website. So I want to understand this client's goal. If it's a business, for instance, a B2B that are focused on conversion, they're just trying to create articles that will lead people to make sales, to buy their product. And it's just like a lead funnel kind of stuff. So for what we're going to do is, when we understand the client's goal. So for instance, is the client focused on getting traffic from Google and ranking on page 1 of Google search engine results pages? This will determine how you go about this article. Because if you are going to optimize for SEO, this will determine if you are going to optimize this article for SEO, do all of the home page SEO stuff, keyword H2 and all of that using keyword research. But do they need a high converting bottom of funnel topic that drives sales? So this is why it's very important to know what the client wants. This will channel your article in the right direction, that you are hitting the bullseye. So if it's for like a B2B SaaS brand, they might want to concentrate on this. They want to use the article to drive sales and all of that. They might already have a distribution channel, maybe they have a newsletter, LinkedIn presence, Twitter presence. They might just want to use that article to drive sales. So this will not be a good strategy. So you first of all understand what the client wants to achieve. So the next stuff is to do my research. Like, this is the key part of the whole process. So once I already understand what my client wants to achieve, they want to rank top, like they want awareness, they want awareness, they want publicity, they want to rank on Google first page and all of that, like top of funnel kind of articles. Then I'm going to go do my research. So when I want to do my research, this is how I'll do my research. First of all, I go to Google search always comes to the rescue. So I'm just going to do a Google search, simple Google search of the top 10 articles, ranking for the keywords that I want to rank for and have similar topics. So what I'm going to do is not to copy verbatim or to reward what these people have done, is to see their angle, where they are coming from, and understand what they've done and how I can do mine better. You understand what they've done and how I can do mine better, and also the loopholes and the keyword that they included in theirs and all of that. So that's why I'll do a quick Google search to know what we are up against. So the next thing I'm going to do in my research is competitor analysis. We want to understand, first of all figure out who our competitor is, and the Google search is going to help us do that. The next thing is competitor analysis. We want to understand who our competitors are and what we pick out like the top two competitors on different categories. For instance, we are still trying to break into the market, so we have to look at what's trying to break into the market from point zero, from to get from point zero to point one, and our competitor should be someone that is already in point one trying to get to point 10 or somewhere in between there. So we want to understand what is already working for our competitor and the topic they are ranking for. We also want to understand, go deeper to understand what their users are frustrated about, get what users say about them and all of that. We want to also look at the keywords they are ranking for and all of those information. The truth is, I've understood is, if you understand what frustration users of your competitors are already having, it gives you a fresh angle to approach your clients' products or services. Like, people already have a problem with your competitor and you're going to go that route. It's also a very, very great way to create a title that is scroll stopping. So for instance, that your competitor is maybe fintech, and people have a problem that their stuff hangs, so you're going to maybe craft your article that, oh, use so ABC fintech, no hanging of payment. So that will give you a fresh perspective, because that is the pain point, the number one problem of your competitor. So that is what I do. I just gather this pain, because this is the people telling you what their frustration is. So all of this competitor analysis, I do an in-depth analysis of the competitor. It gives me an insight on where we should come in and all of that. And this strategy is great if it's a brand that doesn't have data yet. You're working for a new brand that they don't have their own insights, they don't have their own data and statistics, so you can go with the competitor analysis to give you a fresh start on the whole of this stuff. Then another stuff is customer insight. So even if the few people that have bought products or service, you want to understand their process, their frustrations with your client's products, their services. You want to this real life situation, so that you know where to attack the stuff from and all of that. So these are the websites that I use to gather insights from my competitor. So I go to, and from also my clients products or service. So I use Reddit. Reddit is an amazing place for you to get people's real life experience based on anything. If it's a product, a service, it might not be, even if your client's product or service is not very popular yet, this will give you an idea. Maybe a competitor, maybe you sell AI, maybe a content repurposing AI tool. You go to Reddit and type that to see people's frustration, people real life experiences using these tools, and that will give you an angle to understanding pain points of people, and so that you can speak to them in the language that they will understand. And this also works for comparison. So people might ask, what's the best AI repurposing, content repurposing tool, and all of that. So another place is local forums. It actually works as Reddit does, so it's a great place to get insights. So another place I go to is review website. They have a lot of review websites, especially for startup. I think their review websites, G2, Product Hunt, blah blah blah. So to give you an idea of what your competitor is all about, it also gives you an idea of where you are lagging and all of that. So the funny one I do is add comments. So you can go snoop on your competitor, your client's competitor, and try to see their ads. If they ran a paid ad before, see the comments under the ads. This strategy is just, I don't know if anybody does this, but I do. Now this is actually very, very funny. It's actually very, very funny, because you get to understand what people are thinking in real time, and you see the comment like, oh, this brand is just nonsense, like BS, blah blah blah. So you get insights of how people really, really feel about your client's products without all of the adverts and sales and all of that. So these are great ways I gather my insights before my research, before I go on to write my article. So the next step is I collect social proof to support my claim. Social proof is very important when it comes to writing a compelling article, especially if you are in the SaaS, sales, B2B, or you're writing in the B2B space, and even for B2Cs, like for products and services, is very important. So you want to collect people, you want to get data. You can get this from your clients, or what people have said about your business, or about the business or the services, how great the service was and all of that. This will help you market the service more in the article, like proof that this thing I'm selling to you actually works. It can also be your personal experience. If the client is someone that doesn't have time, you can also try to use the tool. If you can ask, if it's like a B2B stuff, or a tool, you can try to use it and you can record your own personal experience with that. Then you can also go to collecting, maybe running a poll, or going outside the internet, looking at people that have used it and whatever positive thing they have to say. So you can just put your client's product or service into Google and see where it brings out, and just play around with the keywords for that. So you can also monitor growth, ask the clients or people in the team, okay, how much growth have they seen, when they started implementing this strategy that they're trying to sell, this service they're trying to sell to people, how they've used it themselves and the growth they've able to achieve. So we want to add all of those data to our article. It's called social proof. It gives credibility. Like, say, okay, this tool, I started using this AI tool and our content production went from 10% to 20%, increasing ROI from 20% to 59%. All of that statistics, you need to gather that. Then another thing, social proof that people want to see, is how much money that you've made. So you want to gather all of this information, how people are very interested in how a product or service helps them make more money or save more money, whatever. Another way is to also gather testimonials. Testimonials are like core. So even if it's one thing, two things that they sold, ask your clients for testimonials, or go to their Google My Business profile, go to their website and gather the testimonial you're going to use. And also get customer insight, where maybe is a message that a customer sends. Working with the customer service and sales team also works well. You can ask to collect some messages that customers have sent and how the response they got and all of that stuff. So these are the ways I collect social proof from to back up the claims that I have in the article. So all this is done before I even start writing the article. You want to prep all of these things before you start writing to make the writing process easier. So next off, I try to gather SME input. SME input gives your article credibility. Like, you see how we are going about this stuff. This kind of stuff is what AI can actually not really do, because you want to give that personal feel to your articles, because you want to actually win a client with this article. So you have to put your best foot forward actually, so that it's compelling. And I guarantee you that if you write the article really good like this, you will most likely land the job. So what are SME input? SME input is like what's gathering information from thought leaders or SMEs, business owners in that space, what they think about your theory or your concept, or what you're trying to pass across. So if you're trying to say that it's more beneficial for brands to actually attract customers organically than through paid advertising, paid media and whatever, and you have a system, you're selling a system that actually helps people, business owners, achieve this. So you might want to now get SME. You want to now get SMEs, founders, business owners, thought leaders that actually agree with this your thoughts, and they want to share their input on it, that, oh, this is true, I was able to do this and got to this level, or just say something because they're experts in this field. Their words actually carries credibility, some level of credibility, and it also fulfills that Google's EEAT updates, algorithm updates, for credibility, trust, expertise and all of that. So this is where this SME input comes in, gathering information from thought leaders or experts in this field. So I really don't like to fuss about it. If you don't have the time to carry out proper interview, because we're going to use this article to pitch to a business or a client or a company that advertise for the role of a content writer. So we're just you can just Google most of these SMEs, founders and thought leaders. They are usually on platforms like LinkedIn and X, and they're usually very active online. So instead of setting up an interview that might take days or weeks, because they are actually very busy people, you can just do a quick search. And if you are following them on LinkedIn, you will also, always be hearing their thoughts on all of this stuff. So you can just quote them and ask them for their permission that, oh, I quoted you in this, so I hope it's okay, share the articles with them. That's just a very good way to go, instead of waiting for all the interview and all of that. So this is how I also do mine. So you want to get experts, 1 or 2 will be okay, you don't have to force about it, so yeah. So these are the ways to give credibility, to your piece. So next up, now that we are done doing our research, collecting social proof, SME input, all of the stuff that's going to make our article look very, very professional, I'm going to go ahead to build an outline. An outline is the framework of your total content. Just like you can see, it does gives a building block of everything, because you know what all the things you are going to use. For instance, I like to use screenshots. You want to use screenshots from the SMEs, you want to use screenshots from data from your clients, like what they've done before, social proof testimonials. And maybe if it's a product, a SaaS product that you want to review, you want to look at how this process, like this tool, actually works step by step. So for instance, me, I like to draw on a paper, so just whatever. So this is where you have to bring out that bonus structure of your article, put in everything in the document that how you want it to be. So that gives you an outline. So let's go ahead. Once you have all of that in a rough sheet, I'm going to go ahead to create our outline. So first off, I start with the introduction. Now the introduction is the very important part of this article, because now you are trying to pitch. You're not just putting this article on the website, so you want something that is actually scroll stopping, that once the interviewer, the brand, the owner, anybody that is going to look at your application looks at the first 2 sentences, they are going to be sold. They are going to be literally be sold on hiring you. So you want to put in effort in this introduction. And one thing that I usually do, and I recommend that you do, is I use customer insight. Like, it's very important, like insight from your client, like what you're writing about, or your competitor. Let's look for people's frustration. For instance, I'm talking about writers. I'm writing a topic about how to make money writing. I'm going to look at the pain points of writers. Oh, I've been writing for 10 years with nothing to show for it. No, that is a pain point. You want to start from that thing that will actually pull the person into actually reading the article. And this is where your research comes in. So since you've already done your research and you already have everything in that document, you can now start to pull statistics. Just look at all of the data you have. You now pick out the most interesting one and use it to frame your introduction. I actually have I try to knead my titles and my introduction in a way that it is very captivating, and my knowledge of copywriting and sales helps me to create a compelling title and introduction. I actually have a structure which I follow. So if you are interested in getting my structure, so just put a comment down below and say, structure of your introduction or title, and I'm going to send the document to you. So that is it. So the introduction is very, very, very important, and make sure you capture the main idea on which the whole content is going to be all about. So that's it. Let's go right into the body. So the body of the article, we are going to include headings. Headings are like the main points you are going to be talking about in the articles. So that is heading 1 and heading 3, heading 2 and heading 3. Heading 1 is usually the title of the article. So heading 2 and heading 3 are subheadings. So you have a majority of your heading 2 and your subheading heading 3. So for my heading 2, for my H2, I love to use questions, and this is where our research comes in again, because when you've dug into the pain points of the of your competitor or your customers or whoever your potential, your persona is, your buyer persona, you understand your ICP and who that person is, you are going to now flesh out your headings into questions. For instance, how to make money as a beginner writer, how to write compelling articles, how to build your plat, or how to build a social media following as a writer. Like those, just ask those questions, and it's a great way to also keep the readers engaged, you know. So that is why you cannot you cannot skip the research part. It helps to flesh this out. So when I have that question that is actually touching the pain points of the potential reader, I will just also go ahead, I will also go ahead to resolve this question. So you ask the question, you resolve it in the heading 2, you use the subheading to like maybe like bullet points to, you know, give more example on all of that. So yeah, that is it, basically it. So your research goes a long way. So I have like maybe 4 heading tools. And why the H2 and H3 are important, it kind of gives you a break in your writing and makes the writing faster. So for instance, you have to write a 1000 word article and you have 4 H2, and you know, just divide it into 150 words. That would be like 600 words, you understand? Or like 250 words. If you have 4 to 250 words, that's 1000 words already. So instead of just writing a lump sum of like words 1000 words, when you break it down like this, it allows you to take the article in piecemeal and just give your best opinion, like you give your best words, answer the question correctly, you know, perfectly without fluff. So this is why H2 and H3 are important. And also answering those questions also help to, you know, give the Google snippets, that time that's snippets on Google, and also the AI overview. So this is very important, this part is very important, especially for SEO. So you don't play with this, and this is the time you want to infuse keywords, target keywords that your clients are looking to rank for. These are the places that you input these keywords. Conclusion is very, very, very important. It's as important as the introduction. Why do I say so? The conclusion, people just rush over the conclusion, but this is the part I love to sell, because I usually utilize storytelling, and I recommend that you do so too. I use storytelling to lead the reader or a ICP on a journey. Oh, this is a problem you have, I explain to you how to fix it. I share my experience with you, how I had that same problem, how I was able to fix it step by step, giving you the proof that my solution works, the results I got before and after, people that have also had the same results before and after, what SMEs have to say about our solution, like all of that. Then this is the tool I use to 10x my output. So I introduce my client's products or services. So this is, I discovered this tool, blah blah blah, this is how I use this tool, and this is how it has worked for me. I did this, blah blah blah. So I use screenshots during, you know, like at the end, before the final statement of introduction. Me, I consider the introduction like the last paragraph leading up to the final introduction is what I consider the conclusion, rather. That's what I consider the conclusion. So I state all of these things, and I also go to sell. I love to use screenshots, especially for the brand, and I also go to sell, like, okay, I did this stuff and it worked, and you can do it too and it will also work. So I share the flow, so I put a link to the demo for the client's product. So this is how it works and all of that. And yeah, this is the point that you want to give a CTA. So for more, if you want to find out more about this and how it works and how I use it, blah blah blah, you can subscribe to the newsletter or join the community or all of that, or use my promo code to get a discount and all of that. So this is the point you want to sell before finally concluding and calling it a day or directing them to another piece of article. So this is how I actually write a compelling article that yeah, this is how I actually write a compelling article that I want to use to pitch to a client. So yeah, so this is it. So if you're looking to pitch, follow this exact strategy. So I'm going to also share with, just take a look at I use this same strategy to just write, to pitch an article to a client, and I'm going to walk you through, I'm going to show you this article. So if you want to see this article that I wrote with this strategy, So I would love for you to make a comment in the comment section and say link to the article, and I'm going to show you the article that I use this strategy to work on, so that you can see it and also use this strategy to create an article too. So all right, thank you for watching. So that's all. I'll see you in the next video. So if you watch to this point, I would like you to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video. I think you'll find it really, really, really helpful. So thank you for watching. Bye.